Hello, folks, and welcome to Tell Us About Yourself. I know advertised earlier this week we had Jared Bridges. However, due to internet connections, we were unable to get him on tonight. But hopefully as a suitable replacement, we have a very special guest with us. He's usually my co-host and the one that came up with this Tell Us About Yourself segment years and years ago, Mr. Dustin Garmon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Got my vision back. It's good to see.
He can see perfectly now. Yes, I know it was false advertising. Hopefully we can get him back in next week. But once again, if I can't get you connected onto the stream, I can't really do a show with you. Sorry. That union internet. Now, can he grow? I don't know if Dustin can grow. Dustin, can you grow taller than this?
Usually with I need some crutches and stuff like that, you know. Like,
okay, we have to break his legs, resize them, and then yes, he can get a little bit taller. Might not be as strong.
With address books, I can get taller, like in the seat if you want.
Okay, so he can sit on them and he can get a little taller. Yeah, see, he's not stuck to this height. He can get a little bit higher. I think your girlfriend would appreciate that, right?
Actually, she's about my height.
Oh, okay, so perfect size. All right. So Dustin, what was it? 3 years ago, you came up with this concept of tell us about yourself, right?
Yes, sir. Sure
And,
did.
and what was the original idea behind this show?
Well, first of all, I needed a streamer. I'm not that technique like technology savvy. So at the time, I was trying to think. It actually comes back from an idea that come back years ago, back when I was in KSW. We used to do this thing called it was called King's Court, which back then I held this sign up, Three Kings, which are all famers in their own right. We used to do this little Zach, which is King Greatness, used to do this little he used to do this little show, and what he would do is he would play in the middle of it. He would stream it. Two people are playing. He's asking questions, and of course, the person he's playing against, is answering while they're in the middle of playing, which I had a hard time doing at first.
Mhm.
And I kind of, I know, it seemed like back when, when COVID hit and stuff like that, I got to realizing how much this game has expanded. And there were so many people at the time, you get new players in and you don't always know everyone. I think not just knowing who they play or, knowing their top five decks and stuff like that, but actually know the players.
Mhm.
So I came up with a concept of I would love to learn what brought you here. What got you into wrestling? What kind of, what is your interest and how did you come about into learning this game?
And that's what started this whole experiment of tell us about yourself. Well, we have a question right now from the Italian Bombata. How does it feel to never be allowed on a roller coaster?
Actually, I just paid tickets to go to amusement parks. So there's your answer. I can ride them.
Okay, you have to put a booster seat. I got it. I got it. Or you slip the guy a 20 to let you on just in case, right?
Hey, money talks.
Money talks. There we go. All right. So, originally, this show has had 3 different seasons so far. The first one was yourself with a Mr. Jeff Foxworthy. And then the second season was done with Jeff Foxworthy and a bunch of guest hosts, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then this last one is just you and me. I mean, adult roller coasters, not the kiddie coasters that can only go in quick circles. Well, I mean, anyone can get on those. Those have a weight limit, though. So, the first season, what did you enjoy most during that time?
Well, it was kind of like you said it earlier. It was experiment, and of course, our first person we had on was actually Steve Risk. Of course, we basically went back all the way to the beginning, and I'm not going to recap the whole show, but
Oh,
we um, we sort of went back in to the beginnings of Super Show and stuff like that. But throughout the season, we had from like wrestlers to people independents that are actually in the game, like Rage and his daughter Chaos. We had TJ Marconi, and we done sort of like themes. And with TJ, of course, I was eating pickles the whole time, so you can imagine how much he loved that.
okay.
But moving forward, it was fun to get to know all these newer people, and I really enjoyed it. A lot
Awesome.
of people I didn't know that actually wanted to be on the show.
Hey, Jared,
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry.
it's quite all
I'm
right.
I'm almost home to be on a good charger with a good plug.
Okay,
So
okay. So, uh, we can get a little bit of a double show then. We'll do a little more with Dustin. Once you're home, we'll get as much of a show with you as we can. Sound good?
Sounds awesome. Sorry.
It's quite all right.
You're fine, buddy.
Yeah, it's all good, dude. I will ask you to turn off the camera for right now, okay? Just let us know when you're home. Thank you. All right. So we get a double show tonight. That's even better. I like the fact that we're still going to get to have the talk with Jared. All right. So did you see any of the second season, Dustin?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched a little bit of the episodes, maybe 3 or 4, but when I had to step away, which I had to step away from playing and stuff like that, I really needed time to myself. I was going through some, of course, just personal issues and stuff like that, and I couldn't focus. I had a few episodes where, like, before I left, and no doubt I love doing these shows and stuff like that, but at the time I couldn't focus, and I was losing focus on questions I wanted to ask, and even plan wise I just couldn't focus, so I just had to step away and get fresh air, if it
Makes sense.
better way to say it.
Well, Dustin is so small, so does this really count as a show? I mean, of course it counts as a show. I'm on it, so obviously it's a show. Right?
I'm just scratching my beard, Bombada.
Your beard? That's a little high for your beard.
Well, sideburns.
I think the books underneath your chair raised your camera a little bit, so you weren't in the right spot. You still can't see. No.
Let me take.
All right, take 2.
I'll take an address book out.
Okay, there we go. All right. So, didn't get to see much of season 2. Season 2 is basically lost to the ether, mainly because that was back in the times of no one decided to record everything. Actually, I think there's quite a few of them still on Foxworthy's channel for YouTube. So we could find some of them. I don't know how many, but we'd still have some of them. So you left mental health reasons, get yourself better. You're back now doing this show again. From where it started with KSW to what it's become now, do you think it's leaps and bounds better? Do you think it's a completely different experiment? I mean, you've had some high-profile wrestlers on here. I say high-profile. They're indie wrestlers. We've had an indie wrestler on here. We might have more indie wrestlers in the future. So it's not just people in the community anymore. It's wrestling in general.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Are you happy in the direction this is going?
Yes, I know sometimes, kind of like we're getting into the summers, and I know, in the fall it seems like, of course, it's easier to get guests, of course, because it's the fall, it's getting cold, most people are indoors. But furthermore, like I always say, whether it's a new player, older player, or independent, wrestler, I love having and just getting to know, the people, which while I was gone, there's a bunch of newer players that I have gotten to know. Some of them are even in the faction that I just joined this week, Union, and I've gotten to know them, and it's really fulfilling when I get them on the show. And of course, even some of our guests this season, I hadn't got to, well, I did meet some, of course, but just getting to know them, because I keep hearing their names over and over. And then when I'm going to these CACs, I'm seeing them and stuff, but knowing their backstories and where they come from, it's really fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, the Meeple just posted Duck USA or Duck in the American flag. I'm just like, is that fuck us or or like
Well,
I have no clue what that was.
we did give out like Foreman gave out these little duckies at Misos, so
Uh, do
it
you
could
have
be
any
it could be luck.
clue? Ow! Thank you, Bombada, but why? Why the ducks? It's your call sign now? Your call sign is Duck USA? All right. Union verse. They fly together. Is it like the flying V? Can we get a little bit of like history of why you joined the Union?
Well, it's been about 3.5 years since I've actually been in a faction, and I was looking around, and which I've gotten to know Joseph and Foreman, and I've gotten to know some of them like Craig, and I just and Jared that's in here, um, and I got to meet them mainly at Misos, and just talking to them and stuff like that, and getting to know them. And there's some newer, I mean, some players that like I said, I don't know them like a whole lot, but I feel like it's just like a fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with I've been here for years. I've played going on, it'd be 7 years in August. So if there's a way that I can, kind of like I said, there's newer players in this group. If there's any way my experience can help, I would love that. Um, and they're really nice people. You got Todd Brooks in there, and I think the world of him and his little grandson Jeremy. Gotta love that kid. But it's just so far it felt right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a way for me to bring back kind of like a my American character, true American guy.
Mm-hmm. So the true American guy supports unions.
Yes.
Okay. The union is a bunch of mother duckers. I I I I I I guess Bada would love to be union. I mean he's in the mafia. That's not really a union. Those are kind of like opposites, weren't they? Okay, he's not in the mafia. He's in the family. Right? Right? I think. Wait for Bombada to. So who's in the union?
There's well, of course, we were gonna have him on or he's actually gonna be here shortly. But Jared, Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
got little Mikey. Um,
Little Mikey.
I call him little Mikey sometimes, but Mikey, Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
We got of course, the foreman. Um, yeah, Craig. I'm still learning names because, like I said, I'm still getting used to some of these players. But um,
I
sorry.
mean, I've never seen Mikey Nichols in person, so I don't know how little he is. He could be taller than Dustin. For some reason, he left the room, so I have no clue. He could be.
There's I mean there's few of us. It's just
Mikey's taller than
I'm
you.
getting
Well,
to
that's
know
also
some
not
of
that difficult. Bombada, like you were not as tall as we assumed, or I assumed. There we go.
Hold on, still need more books.
Slamilton, welcome.
Hold on. Let me add an address book.
There we go.
Ah!
There we go. Well,
All right.
Dustin, it
Yes.
was very nice talking to you a little bit about the history of tell us about yourself and a little bit more about your future endeavors with the Union. But now we have our original guest for today, and we can officially start Tell Us About Yourself featuring Jared Bridges. How are you doing today?
First of all, it's one bridge.
One bridge, single bridge.
No S.
No S. So Jared Bridge.
Thank you. Everyone can call me Bridge. No, that's Chris. Chris is Bridges. I am Bridge.
Okay. Because I mean, your phone one has Bridges.
I need to fix that.
Yeah, you need to fix that because that's how I keep on getting confused at which one is which.
I didn't realize that. I am sorry. I will fix that next time around.
It's all good. Okay, we got International Cool. The friend is here. Jared Bridge is his friend. Jared. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of a shorter show just because of how things have gone. But how are you doing today?
Just got off work, got home. Ugh.
Okay, normal work stuff. Okay, let the
normal union work, normal union guy.
All right. So, how did you originally get into Super Show?
But I love who asked that question. I love the how, especially because I was gonna do it as a bit of a promo for tonight, but this would have been about 7 years ago at Origins.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday of all days, so the con's winding down, vendors are wrapping up. I hear a bell ring in the middle of the sales floor. So I'm like, who is this Vince McMahon knockoff? And I stumble over, and then Calais sits me and Michael Kirk down and teaches me Super Show.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go over to the booth, I look at the characters, look at all the oohs and ahs, all the, and then I asked about EDM, because that was the character I was taught how to play the game with.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him the story by Steve and one of his booth guys, Eddie at the time. Not Eddie Fury, different Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
Very different Eddie. Basically, much like myself, EDM had also stumbled into the LFF with his backstory. I'm like, I'm always looking for a new good card game. This will look like fun. And I guess the rest is, as they say, history.
Okay. And the Italian Bombata would like to know, why is EDM the worst competitor in the game?
That's actually a statement Boss made to me when I first learned the game.
Mm-hmm.
He told me that when I was buying my competitor box, was the EDM versus Warehouse box. He had never seen EDM win anything. No one ever used him. It just, mathematically, he just wasn't doing anything, so therefore he was the worst because no one ever used him. I decided on that day, 7 years ago, I told Boss, I'll be the first one to bring EDM a title shot.
Bombata is saying that was 5 years ago in 2018.
That was 2016. Was it really 5 years? Time flies. No, this was 7 years ago. I didn't get into maybe it's 5. I don't know. I can't count.
Okay, so Origins something or other, 2016, 2018, one of those dates, you get into the game. Everything else is, as they say, history. And were you a wrestling fan before you got into the game? Or, well, I mean, you said, who's this knockoff Vince McMahon? So I assume you have some familiarity with wrestling before then.
As a kid, I would watch WCW and WWF, the original shows.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm dating myself here.
Dating yourself? I mean, we have people that remember the territory days, so you're not dating yourself at all.
And I fell in love with originally Ultimo Dragon, was my very first wrestler I ever actually connected with, and loved how he fought, loved the pageantry he did. Around, let's see, it was probably in my mid-20s, I kind of fell off with, work, school, all that kind of stuff. Actually, it wasn't until Super Show I got back into wrestling.
Okay, the Italian Mamata says SRG's first Origins was 2017 and was sold illegally under a table. First official time was with a booth, and a demo area was 2018. So it was probably 2018, so 5 years ago.
It feels longer.
It feels longer. Well, there was a pandemic in the middle of there, so I think a lot of things feel longer because of it. Okay, so started as a kid liking wrestling, got back into wrestling with Super Show. Any idea of any, or you learned with EDM? Are you still playing EDM?
Oh, you know the answer to that. Absolutely. As a very dear friend of mine says in Hero Clicks, I'll ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
All right. Okay. So, I'm sorry, but I don't have a lot of accomplishments from you. From early on.
I don't have a lot of accomplishments.
Okay. You said you started with Michael Kirk, host of the Outlaw Mudcast?
Yep. Our first match was we learned the game was me versus Kirk, and Clay's teaching us the game with EDM and Warehouse.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you close with him, or was it just like...
Oh, yeah. We've been playing... that's why it feels like 7 years, because I was playing Clicks with him 2 years prior being a Super Show.
Okay. Dustin, you had something?
What I was going to ask you is, because we're similar years starting, moving, looking through the years and stuff like that, and what do you think of, like... I know it's awesome. It's an awesome how everything is, till now. But looking back, did it kind of like seeing all these new cards and seeing how expanding of the universe has, seeing it expand like it did? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not gonna lie. I do feel some of the sets and major like Ikazo stuff and other big like milestone sets for us, I guess you call them. We're not a traditional card game like Magic or the others. I don't feel a lot of those milestones were as well publicized as they could have been. Because I remember me thinking Ikazo was being hit with a Poison Stars at some at an Origins event. Like, what the hell is this card? What is it doing? Why? And nothing made sense. I'm like, what happened to... Why are we throwing Poison Stars and shotguns?
Poison Stars, shotguns, other fun shenanigans. Okay.
So you're getting into kind of like the art of some... I got you.
Not just that. Also, like, I didn't know what these cards did. Like, I'm just getting whacked left, right, center by all these weird cards I've never seen before. And oh yeah, it was a Kickstarter a few months ago. When was this Kickstarter? Like, for me, it was... I've missed a lot because the publicizing, I didn't see a lot of it, so I never got to see the Shaman Kickstarter I first got kickstarted. I never got to see the Ixo Kickstarter. I never saw a lot of those things personally, and I feel something like as a community we need to work better on getting the word of mouth out there.
That there's a Kickstarter literally every year at the same time.
I didn't into locals until about 2 years ago. Like for the first 2 years of me Super Show was just me going to Origins and Gen Con. That was it.
Okay.
I did not know anything outside of that existed. I thought it was just only at the cons.
Well, back in the day, that's all we had. Like, that's the only ones known, like Gen Con or Origins. Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 28 Super Show was a completely different beast from 2019 Super Show. Ikazo wasn't a Kickstarter. It was originally set Origins 2021. Yeah. But if he hadn't gone during the pandemic times, that was the next one that he would have seen it at. Anyway.
Yeah.
Did he go to Origins during pandemic?
Oh, yeah. I have almost a decade volunteering for that con, actually.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right. So we're at that little halfway point of our normal show, even though we just got you in. We're going to do some rapid fire questions just to see what you think about these. So first and foremost, as always, is pineapple or sheep?
Pineapple, because scrap Catan.
Crap, Catan, really? Okay. Cheese or pickle?
Cheese.
Cat or dog?
Cat.
Horse or shark?
Is there a non-Bombada option?
I mean, it's which version of Bombada do you prefer?
Like I said, is there a non-Bombada option to that
No.
question? Fine, I guess. I meant him as a horse first. I'll pick horse.
Okay. Candy Ma'am or Candy Man Dan?
Emo man, because she's not the one who beat me in the last TV Fight Nights.
All right. Slamilton or Candy Ma'am?
Oh,
Asked
Slamilton.
by Slamilton.
Duh, Slamilton. I got.
And then, of course, Nightmare King or the Dark Prince.
I like Nightmare King's aesthetic better.
Okay. Everyone prefers the old school Mikey versus the new school Mikey. So, thank you for those. So, in the game since 2018, but only really seen them once or twice a year, give or take. Playing it, enjoying the game, coming into the online. Well, Mikey, you have to get back in here if you want to ask your question. Otherwise, you can type it out and I'll give it to you. But you come in, you've been around for a bit, and you've joined the union. Why did you join the union?
Because the union's kind of my fault for existing.
It's your fault for existing? Why do you claim part of making the union exist?
So PAX Unplugged last year.
Uh-huh.
Okay? This is a story time, so I hope you have time for it.
Of course we got time for it.
Me and Joe are helping out another friend run his booth at PAX Unplugged
Mhm.
for a awesome board game. I'm gonna plug it, Swords and Sales. Come find me at Origins, I'll teach you how to play.
Swords and sales. Okay.
So we're helping Jason get the booth set up. I look at the roster. Oh, hey, there's Super Show. I brought my cards. Joe had cards in his backpack too. I didn't know Joe played until just then because me and Joe had just met for this on the trip down. I'm like, hey Joe, let's go to the tag team. So me and Joe go to tag team, run into the boss and Mikey in the first round. Got our butts kicked pretty soundly, but we had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go to the singles events. And then Joe starts the foreman persona of me building a bridge to victory. And then I did not know until recently he had the union as a full-on faction. So I'm like, this wouldn't have happened if I hadn't encouraged him to make a foreman persona. Yeah, I'll throw in my 2 cents with this lot and see what happens.
Okay. So Jason already has the idea and you just you put your chips behind him pretty much.
Joe had the idea.
Or
yes.
Joe had the deal, yeah. Okay. So Dustin couldn't tell me earlier, who exactly is in the union?
We have the foreman, Joe McGregor.
Yep.
HR, his lovely wife, Cecilia.
Yeah.
The Chill and Pepper, Tristan. Mr. Safety, Tim. Head of Security, Nightmare Prince. Or Dark Prince, Mikey.
Yes.
Whichever form he's in at that moment in time. Good old Slamilton. The Meeple, who's our disgruntled janitor. Craig Brett. Mr. American Guy, Dustin. And myself, Soundtech Bridge.
All right. So, nice large group, a little larger than you need for Faction Wars. Are you guys going to compete in Faction Wars next year?
Oh, that's the plan.
That's the plan. All right. And who's going to lead you guys?
That's between foreman and HR to handle the upper management. I just work the sound booth.
Okay. Oh, Slamilton saying Polka's joining? Oh, God. Well, so much for the union if Polka joins.
That is not my circus to worry about.
Yeah, definitely not your circus, not your monkeys.
I just push buttons and turn knobs.
Hey, that seems like a pretty good job then. Ow.
I'm happy with it.
So, any idea where the ducks came from?
If I go back far enough in our paperwork, probably. I know there's a brief mention. It can't, and like any meme, it caught on, and it has evolved into its own beast.
Okay. PR running from, yeah.
At one point, they were a meme. That's all I remember, and then they were a thing. I'm just like, I'm not in charge. I don't have to worry about this.
I brought a duck with a hat to dojo. I mean, we've seen ducks in dojo before that. I mean, I'm almost 100% sure we've seen ducks in the dojo before that. It's just, why did this one stick, is what I'm asking.
I think Aflac was part of the joke at one point.
Oh, God, okay.
I'm just gonna say, Jared, it's because we got our ducks in a row. We know what we're doing.
You know, you say that, but I have had 2 strikeouts of the Union. One was supposed to be every Union player playing Snake Pit, and then some of them didn't own Snake Pit, so that was a flop. And then this last time, everyone was going to play a version of Candy Family, and I mean, we saw like multiple Candy Mams, a single Emo Mam, and other things, and they're trying to take over and an EDM, yeah, because it's just like that's not all Candy Fam, so I don't know what to say.
In defense of that one, that was my fault because I don't own any Candy members because they're not Agility 10.
It doesn't matter. The Union's supposed to supply you with the candy. Isn't that the idea of the unions? To supply everyone with what they need?
But I would never use a Candy Mam or a Candy Dan or an Emo Mam. They're not Agility 10. I can't use them.
Ah. You need the Agility 10.
Have to be Agility 10 or has to be a character with a super duper whacked out gimmick.
So we call that the Ian Chambers effect there. Because
hey, Cheetah's good people. I'm a good company.
I mean, Cheetah is a person. He's fine in small doses, like any cheetah, but gets bullied by every larger cat because he is a crappy cat. Union gets a candy supply from the buddy building. Well, that's why the candy's not good, because it's coming from the buddy building.
Yeah.
Johnny T is Agility 10, and he's a member of the fam. Yeah, yep.
Johnny T? I'm not familiar with that character.
Chocolates. Oh. You get chocolates. Chocolates are chocolates. They are not candy. Obviously, that's where the misconnect's coming there. Buddy building sending chocolate instead of candy. Messing everything up there.
Why don't you send Huskus to Cal? He'd look good in my smoker. I love beef.
No, don't eat Huskus. He's full of fiber.
I have no idea what's going on at this point in the conversation.
Oh, don't worry. Oh, dang it. Huskus, you messed up the order. Obviously, you're going to blame the most competent person on your staff that it was his fault and not yours. Makes sense. Moving on. Because Mikey's not in here, I will ask his question that he always asks. What is your dream match for Super Show if you have one?
Now, is this what 2 players, 2 characters, players and characters?
If you could have yourself in a dream match, what would your dream match be?
Like, think rivalry. Think a good rivalry promoing.
Oh, well, that's easy. Me and the Foreman against Calais and Boss in their OG versions.
OG Boss and OG Calais. As Calais and OG Boss versus Jared and the Foreman. And what would you guys be playing? You'd be playing EDM and who?
Whatever the Foreman wants to use.
Okay.
Probably El Blanco.
Okay. Would there be any stakes on the line, or just pure, unbridled, just
that's between Foreman and Boss to work out. They're the ones in charge.
Yeah, no, I know he's nuts for playing against OG Calais, because then Calais just turns it into a cage match or something.
Do it. I'll go through that deck in a heartbeat.
Okay. And then the second question he always asks is, if you could be in a tag team, it could be with a person from the past or a real life wrestler or a non-wrestler, what tag team title belts would you go for? And who would your tag team partner be?
Tag team partner's easy.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bo Dragon.
Ultima Dragon. Add another belt to that collection. And what titles would you try to go after?
WCW.
WCW. Any particular era of WCW, who would you want as the opposing champ?
I probably would say I was watching when I was 6, 7 years old, so probably mid-90s WCW. I'm trying to think who would be on that roster back then.
Oh,
no, I know who I'd want to face. Dudley Boys.
Dudley Boys. All right.
Power versus speed. Let's make it happen.
Were the Dudleys in WCW during that time? I mean,
they were ECW.
I know they were ECW. That's why I'm like,
But,
okay, find the ECW belts then. I'm
okay.
I mean, back then that would be the entire Dudley family then, and that's a hell I would never want to go through.
I got Ultima on my back. I got this. We got honor and speed on our side. We don't need anything else.
Yeah, see, I know Bambata. I was like, the Dudleys were never in WCW, but okay, so instead of WCW, he go for ECW. So yeah, it would be back when the entire Dudley family was together, and that is just a special kind of hell.
Bring it! I got Ultimo. We got honor, fighting clean, fighting with speed.
Ultimo was just
Okay, Dustin went a little robot, but we'll continue without it. All right, so of course that was Mikey's question. Thank you, Mikey, for always asking the same question. So when you're not here, it's very easy to figure that out. Dustin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, it's all good.
What I was saying is one of them would just toss Spike Dudley like in the crowd like every other wrestler did.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but they were like 5, 6 deep at that point. So yeah. A lot more people to go up against. All right.
I don't care. More the merrier.
More the merrier. All right. If anyone has some last minute questions for Jared, please get them in. We've talked about your past a little bit. Thankfully, it's not too much of a past. Just origins, and now current with the Union. What are things you would like to accomplish in this year and the coming years of Super Show?
My next goal is actually because I know I'm somewhere on the line for it, is my shot at the Veterans Belt.
The Veterans Belt. Oh, what type of veteran are you?
Army,
but okay. Thank you for your service, of course.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
That's the big one I'm looking forward to. I would like to actually get tag team with get the tag team for the Union at some point this year or next year.
Mm-hmm.
Not too picky about who the tag team partner is for that, but
okay.
And maybe if we can, as long as me and Union getting Union Gold, and ideally I would get one of my 2 character designs I have in my head for competitor made into the game at some point this year.
Ooh.
I got 2 concepts, and they're very different concepts.
All right, we'll talk about some of those in a second. We have some questions that were asked. Italian Babata asks, can you please forget to charge the speakers at Origins this coming year? No can do. International Cool asks, Jamie the Reverse Giraffe or Ian the Rabby Dog? I don't even know what the hell a Rabby Dog is.
I have no idea what the content of the question is.
He's at it's a one or the other. Which one? Jasmine the Reverse Giraffe or Ian the Rabby Dog?
I guess. What is a reverse giraffe? Is that like a giraffe rig, the Pokemon? You know what? Because it runs your giraffe rig, we'll go with the giraffe.
All right, and Evil Ed asked, cheesy or pickles?
Cheesy. Were you not paying attention earlier, Evil
But
Ed?
I don't think he was here. Of course, we're gonna ask it because he says cheesy instead of cheese.
Okay, fine. You did actually. You turned to an active versus a noun. Fair enough.
Because it's not easy being as cheesy as the cheesehead. I mean, especially with the amount of giving he gives. Because golly, I remember at a time where I would give that much, and without a job, you can't do that. That hurts. But okay, so future title shots are in. Yeah, great show tonight. Yeah, no, this has been fucking chaos. I love it.
Sorry, I'm a squirrel.
It's all good. Future shot at Veterans Belt already lined up. Tag team title shots in the future. What region are you? Because I don't know that either. I don't know a lot
Midwest.
about you. Okay, you are Midwest Coast. So
like most of the union, I'm in Ohio.
Okay, so Midwest Coast. Maybe eventually, once the GMs come up with something, you might get a shot at that tag titles. I know no one's beating the Most Dangerous Alliance for forever, just because they're that good.
That I might actually want to go for with Michael Kirk as my partner.
As Michael Kirk of the Outlaw Mudcast as your partner?
Yeah. He's more often than not my tag team partner in most events. So you usually know us by our tag team name, Rebel Radio.
Rebel Radio. Were you ever on his Outlaw Mudcast show?
Not yet.
Yeah. I know he doesn't have many co-hosts on it. I do remember originally he had someone with him. I just don't remember who it was.
I don't think anyone remembers who that was but him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Jarrett, we're at that point in the show, even though it was a very much shorter than normal show just because of technical difficulties. But we're at that point where we flip the script and have you ask us a question. So you can ask both Dustin and myself one question each. It doesn't have to be the same question.
Okay. Actually, for you, Chibi.
What's up?
If you had to choose between supporting a scroll-themed luchador or an actual music DJ for a creative competitor event, who'd you pick?
A squirrel-themed luchador or a DJ gimmick?
Pure music DJ, like
pure music DJ.
No.
I would 100% put my money for the Squirrel Luchador just because I would want to see a finisher called Grab My Nuts.
Family friendly.
That is very friendly. What are you talking about? Who doesn't like nuts? I mean, I guess if you're allergic, you don't like them, but that's not everyone.
All right. And for Dustin, what question would I ask Dustin? Just before I ask the question, Dustin, I need a clarification on one thing. Do you have any characters in the game?
He has 2 characters.
Oh yes, I got 2.
Okay. Then my question for you, Dustin, is if you were to put True American Guy on a tornado tag, what kind of partner would you want for him?
A tornado tag? I'm probably if I could, okay, just out of the blue, I'm just gonna say first one that comes to mind, I would have to go with my buddy Todd Brooks. I'd call it, well, the True Americans.
The True Americans. Love it.
Nice and clean. I like it.
All right, and we have one question from the Mikey Nichols. Mikey, go ahead and
It's gotta be a
unmute and
different one.
ask your question. But please realize that it has to be a different question from what you normally ask, because I already asked that question. The Pounding
he actually-
Fathers, I like that one. But then again, I
All
think
right.
we would want someone like Big Match Pete on the Pounding Fathers. That makes more sense there.
All right, well,
Mhm.
Chibi, you said you already gave him my
Yes,
normal
because you
initials?
said that you were going to ask it, but you never showed back in, so I just assumed that you were trying to connect and were having difficulty, so I asked your question for you.
Yeah,
And
but
he
all right,
quoted
well, I
it
have
word for
two
word.
simple questions for him.
Okay, go ahead.
It's something different. One of them is, what's your favorite, type of beverage to drink?
I kind of figured that was the depending on what I'm doing, it's either water, cherry cola, or a super sour Long Island iced tea.
Okay, fair enough. And my second one is, this is gonna be a brand new one. I'm gonna take a page out of the Canoli's book. Give me your 3 top favorite male wrestlers and your 3 top favorite female wrestlers.
That's one I haven't heard in
Ultimo?
forever. Yep.
Yeah, same here. That was actually a pretty good one, Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimo just tops the list regardless.
Okay.
Goldust is next.
Mm-hmm.
And number 3, top male wrestler. I guess it's Hurricane because he's kind of funny to watch.
Hurricane, always a good one. Dustin Rhodes, definitely a good one.
Hurricanes, dude.
All right, and then 3
Hurricane,
female
wait.
wrestlers.
Yes, 3
Sorry,
females.
replace Hurricane with Darby Allin.
Darby Allin, okay.
I was stuck on WCW mode. I forgot.
Crazy
AEW
kid
is
that
a
likes
thing.
that likes to go into coffins. Sounds good.
Hey, we all had a phase in high school.
Yeah, except he's not in high school anymore.
And he makes more than we do doing it.
Your
Top 3 females.
Yeah, 3
Top 3
females.
female.
Britt Baker, because holy hell, she actually has an actual degree in dentistry.
Okay.
Lita. Lita's always a fun one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
And I'm sorry, Trish is just a babe even to this day.
Trish Stratus. Okay, so
Yeah.
a lot of classics, but Britt Baker takes it just because she is smart. Always good. Always good. Thank you, Mikey,
well,
for
well-
asking your questions.
No problem. Fair enough.
Okay. And Slamilton, Mount Crushmore is a great name. However, I would put that as a trio instead of a tornado tag.
Or a finisher.
Nah, definitely not a finisher. So I am assuming that those 2 that you asked about, which one I prefer, are the competitors that you were looking to make.
You got me.
As if I had to force it out of you. Dare I ask, why in the world a squirrel?
So, according to family story time, when I was a baby, there were certain foods if I didn't like them at all, I would just literally put them in my cheeks like a squirrel, and find ways to get rid of them when I could. And nowadays, I find that no matter where I go, if I'm traveling with people, as the only way I'm traveling with other people, my backpack will squirrel away everything that's needed to get the people through that event. Hey, someone's hungry? Oh, hey, I have an extra couple bags of Doritos in the bag. Thursday, I have an extra couple cans of Pepsi. Don't know where they come from.
So you're a hobbit.
I'm a squirrel.
It sounds
I'm a hobbit.
It sounds more like a hobbit bag. A hobbit bag always has exactly what you need in there.
Hobbit squirrel. I mean, I'm from New Hampshire originally, so I guess Hobbit does work too.
Oh, yes.
How about the squirrel?
Yeah, can confirm he always has exactly what you need. He is a squirrel. Okay. Okay, Squirrel Luchador coming in 2024 CCC. Be ready for it. Thank you, Jared, for giving us that little look behind and finding out about someone who has been in the community for so long, just not on the online side of it. Dustin?
That's something.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
It's something I wanted to actually, yeah. But honestly, in the first couple of years I was playing this game, being online was kind of just not a good setup. But now I have the setup. Now you can't shut me up.
As long as you're at home, because otherwise the connection is bad, which is normal for most of us.
That was a battery issue, not a connection issue.
Oh, a battery issue. Okay, even worse. Yes, not being able to plug in is always a problem. Dustin, what do we have for next week?
Next week is open again. I know, like I said earlier, we're getting into the hotter months, and of course, a lot of people are going to be out, family stuff like that. If you would like to be on next week's episode or in the future, just let me know. Our show is on Tuesdays, of course, 6:30 p.m. Eastern to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'd love to have you, whether you're a new player, older player, or hell, independent, wrestlers. We'd love to have you.
Right.
Just PM me and we'll book you. I also want to say, if you don't care, Chibi, I didn't get to do announcements. I want to say that this weekend is Mother's Day, so I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that are in the community. This is your weekend.
And all the mothers around the world.
Cooking, grilling. Yeah.
And everyone that just needs to remember their mother. Please do so. Until then, can I get a bye, man?
Bye, man.
See y'all later.